Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Jessa Jeremiah, and we have a great show for you today. We are going to talk business education with UW-Madison. We're going to check in with our sports news partner because we have an exciting week of high school football ahead of us. But first, we're going to chat with Jan and Renee, who join us from Sarah B. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. So we get to talk about gift giving and getting married. What a fun topic. That's fun stuff. So talk to us a little bit, for folks who haven't heard of Sarah B., what kinds of services do you offer?
Well, we offer actually quite a few services. Some of our favorites being gift wrapping, personalized wedding invitations, you name it, it's kind of there.
A lot of personalized gifts and
Okay.
just stationery off the shelf, and we love gift wrap, so we have a lot of gift wrap.
Good. And personalized items are really a big thing right now, with weddings and events. So what are some of maybe your most popular personalized items?
Well, we actually have a few on display here today.
See a couple of cool ones. Yeah, mention some of those. What are some of these here that we have?
Actually, we have the power banks, which are great for while you're out on the road traveling. You need to hook up your phone to something to recharge. Same for maybe your iPad or anything like that. The travel mugs are a great gift for your coffee in the morning. Same for the larger gift here is just a drink tumbler, and your again for your tech gifts, your iPhone covers. Stationery is always a big hit during any time of year for your first anniversary after you've gotten married, for Christmas, any time of year.
Awesome. So you've got some great selections here. I love the fun patterns too. Those are great. So that's a fun way to add to an event and just give it your own little touch. So that's wonderful. So you talked about you do wrapping too. I see some things here that are just gorgeous. We were commenting on the boxes and the ribbons when you came, but you do wrapping now. If we have several gifts that need to be wrapped, talk to us about that. Can you help us there?
Absolutely. We have a lot of people who like to drop their gifts off around the holidays, don't have time to do it themselves, or just simply don't want to, and
Or aren't good at it.
Yes, there's those folks too.
So we just, drop them off, and you can pick the wrap and the ribbon you want, or you can just leave it all to us, and we'll have everything ready to go on whatever timeline you need. So
And a lot of people do that for a special occasion in particular, like an anniversary gift that they want to look particularly beautiful. So.
Yes. I think there's a lot of men maybe watching that should take you up on this service. I've seen some of your handiwork. You might need some help. But no, I'm mostly kidding. But no, that's fun to have it professionally wrapped and just give that extra special touch. So that's great. What is it that you particularly love about gift wrapping? What got you into this?
Well, you spend so much time and sometimes a lot of money and effort in finding that gift, and really taking that extra step to, put that presentation together. Really, I kind of compare it to opening a bill versus a letter in the mail. Is kind of a good
What would
way.
you rather get?
Yeah, which would you really rather get? I'd personally rather get the letter.
Sure.
So,
That's right.
So, it's really taking that extra time and spending a little bit of extra money to put together that really nice presentation, and being sure that the receiver really wants to open that gift.
Yeah, you spend so much money on the gift. Why not spend a little bit extra, make it look great?
Really pretty. Yeah.
Absolutely. Talk to me about some of the engaged couples. Now, do they come to work with you? How do they work with you? How does that happen?
Well, we work with a lot of engaged couples via consultation. Wedding invitations can take a lot of time, a lot more time than they first suspect, and so we do everything by consultation. We reserve, generally speaking, about 2 hours for the first consultation, and a lot of couples don't take that time because they can sometimes get overwhelmed, but really we want them to have that dedicated time and focus that we can sit down and work with them and educate them a little bit about the process. And so they can go on our website, or they can give us a call and go ahead and set that up.
Awesome.
But that said, we do a lot. We have a woman in London right now that Renee is Skyping with. So to walk her through all her selections, and we're working with another person in Chicago. So we do a lot by email as well,
Okay.
or by Skype or FaceTime or something like that when someone isn't local and can't come into the store. So we
Good
still
to
do a
know.
lot of long distance kind of work with people
so you
too.
can, whatever fits your sort of lifestyle and location. Well, that's just wonderful. Well, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. Sarah B is the name of the company. Call Jan and Renee for more information or to get your gifts wrapped. Go see them. Sounds good, ladies. Thank you very much. Well, it's a growing business world out there, so we're going to check in with UW-Madison after the break and find out what they're doing. We'll be right back with more Talk of the Town. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. Well, as we know, the business world is ever changing, so we're going to find out how Wisconsin School of Business is helping UW-Madison students. And here to do that is Francois, who joins us. Now, he is the Albert O. Nicholas Dean over at UW-Madison School of Business. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. So, the business world is ever changing. So let's talk about what future business owners or leaders, need to know how to be successful in this changing business world. What can you tell us?
I think it starts by knowing themselves and be great leaders of themselves, understanding what drives them, their own purpose. And then from there, building on how to work with others, learning how to collaborate. And if I were to add a third element, it would be learning how to learn. Because in today's environment, you're going to be bound to face new situations you're not aware of, and learning how to learn is probably what's going to help you the most going forward.
What an interesting insight, and important too, learning how to learn so that as you go forward you can properly absorb and adapt. What is Wisconsin School of Business doing right now to prepare tomorrow's workforce?
We engaged in a broader conversation with our employers, with our alumni, and then within the school and with the campus to actually determine what are the learning objectives, the learning outcomes. We want to, in a way, embed in our students by the time they come out to set them on a path to success on a professional level, but also on the personal level.
And let's talk a little bit about higher education as well. So what does Wisconsin School of Business do in terms of transforming higher education? Talk to us about that.
Well, thank you for asking. That's something that's very dear to us. We think we are very well positioned as a school to start a movement to think differently about higher education. And I would point to two particular words, together and outcomes. Outcomes are about what we just talked about. What is the learning we need to embed in our students and frankly, beyond the graduation, learning over their life, learning how to learn and being there to support them. And together is about a different approach to the learning experience of our students, where it's not just a professor and a class, one after the other. It's much more of a coherent, integrative approach, which is the professors and the co-curricular experiences within the business school, but also in the broader campus, but also how our alumni and corporate partners help us shape the students we train.
Team effort.
Team effort, totally.
Yeah.
For the benefit of the students, that's the other big element is when you focus on outcome, naturally you become more student-centric or learner-centric. And that's a big shift that's happening in higher education. We want to be at the forefront of that shift.
Absolutely. Very interesting stuff. You mentioned alumni. What role do you feel that alumni and the greater community can play in advancing business education?
They help us tremendously on all fronts, from designing the learning experiences to actually delivering learning experiences, or even sometimes assessments, like case study competition, where they give us real cases and then they become the judges. They help us by contributing their time to help us recruit and place students, but also to participate in our activities. And then, frankly, in today's environment, we need to recognize a lot of our financial support comes from alumni. And without our alumni and their generosity, we wouldn't be the school we are today, and we wouldn't be in a position to contemplate the future that's ahead of us.
Important. The money piece is important,
Yeah,
whether we like
yeah.
to admit it or not.
Well, it's about understanding who pays when with regard to education, and you pay some when you are being educated as your tuition, and then the only reason you could get this great education is because the one who came before you
Right.
paid some later once they were successful and grateful alumni.
Absolutely.
So can today's generation then pick it up from there and become the successful and grateful alumni in the future? to establish that legacy and continue our presence in the world market.
Kind of all goes in full circle.
Yep.
Let's talk about how the needs and expectations may have changed for some of the incoming students now versus even just as recently as 5 years ago.
I think over 5 years, maybe the biggest change is to be more articulate as to the value we provide and to be much more efficient in how we communicate with our students. And the most maybe visible example of that is how do we move away from having a teacher on stage preach to the student to better using communication technology to maybe record some modules on the web, have some of the exercise on the webs, but then have some of the face-to-face time be really dedicated to what cannot be replaced by a computer. So what I would say is much more efficient use of the time of our students by being more focused, again, student-centric on the outcome they're trying to achieve.
Very interesting stuff. And faculty expectations then need to change as well.
Yeah, it's a whole new world, a whole new technology available, which really is fantastic for faculty. It gives you a much bigger platform and a much better use of your time. The difference again is to focus more on, give you a chance to focus more on the student. Help the one who need your help, let the others watch the video, and then work more together. And most faculty we have here at this campus really care about the students, and so it's not that difficult of a change actually. If anything, it's giving people a platform to do what they always wanted to do.
Lots of changes. Thank you so much for your insight, Francois from UW-Madison School of Business. We're going to be back. We're going to switch gears a little bit, talk about high school football. That's right after the break. Stick around. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. As promised, we're going to talk to Travis Wilson some more. We're going to pick his brain a little bit about week 9 as far as Wisconsin's high school football is concerned. So we were able to catch up with Travis at some of the games over the last couple weeks. And Travis, in case you've missed it, is from Wisconsin Sports Network. So Travis Wilson, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
So let's talk about week 9 a little bit now. There's a lot going on. So what do you think is coming up that will be decided as far as conference championships this week? This is the last game we're covering.
Yeah, last game of the regular season, and there's a lot on the line for a lot of teams. Still a lot of conference races up in the air. You take a look at the Big 8 conference, league that we've talked about all season, still undecided. Middleton plays Janesville Craig for the conference championship. Even though Craig lost last week, they can share the league title with a win over Middleton. You look at the Badger South Conference, even though, again, Milton lost last week, they got a shot to get a share of the league title this week when they play Monona Grove, who's undefeated so far. So still a lot to be determined in a lot of these local conference races.
Okay, good to know. And let's talk playoffs a little bit. We get to do that with you, or at least the last several weeks we've talked playoffs. What is it that makes football playoffs so unique?
Well, it's unique in the respect that football is the only sport where not every team actually gets into the playoffs. You have to earn your way into the playoffs, and you do that based on how you finish in your conference record. And that really magnifies all of those conference games, and it really sets up a situation where it makes it more interesting and entertaining for us to follow as we go down to the regular season. This week is always kind of the pinnacle, the peak of interest in high school football as everybody's trying to figure out who's in, who's out, who they might end up playing, all that good stuff. So that really, again, makes it pretty exciting down the stretch here.
Yeah, it's a big week for folks to sort of see what's going to shake out for some of those kind of on the cusp. And what area teams are on the postseason bubble?
Well, if we start in the Capital North, Lakeside Lutheran and Columbus both need to win to get in. If they lose, they're out. And they play each other in week 9.
Oh,
so that's really a play-in game, almost a de facto playoff game, where the winner gets in and the loser's going to stay home. Baraboo has a chance to get a win and get eligible for the playoffs. Now they've got a tall order in week 9, so unlikely they get it done, but they're one of those teams on the bubble. Madison Memorial could kind of sneak into the conversation with a victory. Some other teams, East Troy, Palmyra Eagle, need to win to get qualified. Wisconsin Dells as well, so a lot to be determined still.
Okay, I'm excited. The last week has to be fun like this, right? You got to have some good matchups and make it challenging and fun for us to watch.
Yeah.
So you've done some projections on your site on wissports.net. Talk to us about some of those. Give us some highlights.
Well, I picked every Week 9 game in the state, and based on that, came up with projections on who would be into the playoffs, who wouldn't, et cetera. I came up with 223 teams that finished exactly 500 in their conference or better that would be in, and then also an independent team in Washburn who would get in. That means there would be, based on my projections, no teams that finish under 500 in their conference getting into the playoffs, which is different than what we've seen the last couple of years. Last year there was 7 sub 500 teams that got in. The year before that there was 4. So going a little bit against that grain based on my projections, but again, we'll see what the actual games bring on Friday and
Yeah.
who does get in and who doesn't get in.
See how it all shakes out,
Yep.
right? So what is the timeline as far as getting that playoff information?
Well, Friday night, all the games will get played, of course, and we'll get final scores posted on WisSports.net as soon as we can. And then I'll start basically crunching numbers, figuring out who's in, who's out, put a unofficial playoff field together, usually sometime between 10:30 and 11 o'clock. I'll have an unofficial playoff field. And then the WIAA will release their official field sometime around midnight, maybe 12:30. So you can check WisSports.net, and we'll have the information usually an hour or two before the WIAA does. We've always been right on with our projections. And then after that, about 2 o'clock in the morning, they'll release the regional groupings. Saturday, the seeding meetings will be held, and then the actual games and matchups will be determined. So long story short, follow WisSports.net all weekend. We'll have you fully covered on all the playoff information.
Love it. And we don't have a lot of time left, but I want to ask you really quick about state champions. Give us a prediction.
D1, I'll take Kimberly if they end up in D1. D2, I'll take Germantown. Division 3, Greendale. D4, kind of up in the air, but I'll go local and take Broadhead Judah. In Division 5, a lot of good teams, but I'll take Lancaster once again, 4 years in a row that I picked them. The last 3 years they were runners-up. In D6, I'll go ahead and I'll take Athens in that one, I guess. In D7, I'll take Catholic Central.
Okay. Travis Wilson, he's the man. Check him out on wisconsinsportsnet.net. And we'll check in with him later. Don't worry, this isn't the last you'll see of Travis Wilson. We'll be back with more Talk of the Town right after this. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. As promised, it's time to talk weddings as fall planners are starting to look for some help and ideas. We have Kamlan, who joins us from C'est La Vie Events to give us some pointers and talk weddings. Welcome.
Thank you.
So I'm very glad to have you. Got to chat with you a little bit on Girl Talk, which was great. And I know that your wedding business, and you do a lot of work in the community as well. So we're going to get to
Yes.
that a little bit later. First, just talk about some of the services that you offer. And I know that you have a cool new service that you added. So
Yes,
tell
we
us
do.
about that.
It's called Dancing on a Cloud. Pretty much what we do, we have a machine, and it's usually for the first dance. So we do have a machine that creates this cloud effect that it stays below the knee level. And for the couple to dance, for the first dance, it just creates this beautiful, amazing sort of Cinderella type of vibe, and everyone loves it. The guests, always are very surprised when we pull the machine out and just do the first dance. And the most important thing is that when you throw some LED lights onto it, it totally amazes everybody. And couple usually love that, and we try to throw that in, sometimes as free services just to get them a little bit, excited about their wedding.
I love that. I love that. How fun and romantic
Yeah,
that
exactly.
is.
That's the best part about romantic, yeah.
Love that. Gorgeous idea. Talk to us a little bit about, what you do when you book clients, and then, what's the most common question? You must get lots of questions. Is there one that stands out?
Yes, we do get a lot of questions. The one that stands out the most is what type of music we play. And usually, couple of things that, as a DJ, you just play one certain type of music that you like. But the thing is that we sit down, we talk to the couple, we have a package that we give them, so they sort of give us a little bit of an insight into what type of music they want, what they don't want to hear. And then from there, we just build a playlist, and sometimes we show it to them like 2 or 3 times before the wedding.
Very good. It's good. So it's nice when couples have an idea of what they want. You're really able to work with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's all about them, and we try to be able to show that to them, that this wedding is their wedding, the music, the
Yeah.
event, the lighting, everything.
Yeah, show off the couple's styles. Now, every couple, I'm sure, has different budgets that they're working within. So talk to me a little bit about how can you accommodate for folks at home who are watching different numbers, different
Yes.
dollar amounts?
What we do, we try to sit down first, try to get a little bit of an idea of what type of budget they have and what type of services they wanna, they wanna get. And from there, we either do like 4-hour set or 8-hour set or unlimited time. And then from there, we have like budget, and most of the time it works out for the couple. And then also what we do is we try to see exactly if we can give them like some free thing, either if it's a wedding monogram, we can do that for free because it doesn't cost as much as people think. So sometimes we try to throw that in there for free for them.
How nice is that? That's nice. You sound very, very accommodating. That's
Yes,
great.
yeah, it's a once in a lifetime experience. So our goal is try to make sure that the couple is happy and having a good time.
Yeah. Thank you for understanding that too, because I think sometimes people who are so inundated in this business, it just becomes their everyday
Yes.
and not as special anymore.
Yeah.
And I can hear just in talking to you that you haven't lost that specialness.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We've done a lot of sort of research on our own. We went to couple bridal shows just to see exactly how people get approached.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's really like, buy. So we try to step away from that a little bit and try to be like, okay, we're here for you, and we have a lot of ways to help.
That's
to help
great.
you.
I love that. I want to make sure that we talk about some of the areas where you do business and how you incorporate that into community work. So talk to me about that.
Yes, we actually do have a couple projects that we work on in our community. One is the Project 1808. It's also on our website, if you want to look into it a little more. What we do is like every wedding that we do, we try to take a percentage of the revenue to give to Project 1808. It's a project that it's with the University of Wisconsin here in Madison, and what they do is they help with kids in Liberia for education, buying books and just trying to be able to give them some sort of help to go to, for education and, anything of that matter.
Wow.
And we're trying to help work with the Children's Museum too, where over this, I believe in the summer and spring, we're gonna be, doing like photo booth, at the Children's Museum for free for the kids to play around. We will also be bringing like music for the kids, to play and all that stuff. Yeah.
Wow, really special stuff that you guys are doing to help others, and just it's nice talking to you because you are so passionate about what you do.
Yes.
So that's
Yeah.
wonderful,
Yeah.
Colin. Well, thank you for joining us. Give them a call at C'est La Vie Events, and that's it. We're done. Can you believe
Thank you
it?
very much.
Thanks
I
for
know.
joining us. Thank you to our guests.
You're welcome.
And thank you for watching. Please join us next time.